Hey guys, what's up? Tom here from Editing for Morons. Today we're going to be doing a quick tutorial on how to make a nice looking dynamic intro with some moving parts. Something that you normally wouldn't see in a Sony Vegas intro. It's a little bit higher level, a little bit more difficult, so make sure to pay attention and we will get shit done. What you just saw, all that stuff was done in not After Effects, was done in Sony Vegas. So if you guys are interested in something like that, a little bit more advanced, just let me know and I'll take care of that. But for now, we're sticking to this dynamic intro, which I can show you right here. Alright, so you saw it. I really like how it turned out. You guys can really take a look at that and edit it. I'm including a template with the files and stuff so you can download it after the tutorial is done. So we're going to start out here and make a new file. If you guys are interested in the settings I use, let me know and I can make a tutorial on that. But let's get started because this is a little bit time consuming and I don't want to run out of time here. So we're going to go to media generators, go ahead and bring in some text. Use whatever font you want. Doesn't really matter. Just looking for something that looks good. Mess around with the scale, get it how you like it, and then what we're going to do is go over to the Properties tab, make it completely transparent, so drag the alpha channel all the way down, then go over to Effects and check this Draw Outline button. What this is going to do is outline your text with this nice looking effect here. And so go ahead and select a color, and there we go. That's what we're going to do for the text here. We're going to have 4 parts. We're going to have an overlaying kind of line effect to make it look like an old TV kind of. This text, a line underneath, and then a little blurb or memo underneath that. So let's go ahead, go back into our media generators really quick, and placement, you want to drag it up just a little. Make sure the X stays at 0 because you want it centered. So we're going to go ahead and do our little line here to split up our footage. So go to media generators, let's go to a solid. Doesn't matter what color you bring in because you can change it. So go ahead and bring down a solid and make it around the same color. That's probably good. And then we're going to go to Event Pan Crop, and this is where you can create a mask. So a mask, you're going to be separating out a certain portion of this clip, and I can go into a more in-depth mask tutorial later on. But for now, just check the mask, click right here, and then click on the Anchor Creation tool, or you can hit D on your keyboard. And we're just going to create a really thin kind of rectangle here. You want it to be, pretty straight. Doesn't have to be perfect though. Yeah, that's fine. So you've got 2 tracks here. You've got the mask track where you can change your mask, which we don't really need to do anymore, and you got your position track where you can change the position of this. So go ahead and click on position, and over here we've got move freely X and Y. You can hit this and it allows you to move it side to side, or hit it again and it allows you to move it up and down. So we're going to just move it, the Y-axis right now. Go ahead and move it down just a tad so it's right below your text. That's looking pretty good. We're going to go ahead and bring in some more text here. So go to Media Generators, Text. Go ahead and use you can use a different font if you want. You want something, it'll probably work best if you use all capitals though, because you want the top of your text to be flush. So just keep that in mind. What we're going to do is size down the scale. You can do the scale with the font size if you like. I just like the slider because it gives you a little bit more control over what you're doing. This is really important, this part right here. What you're going to do is click on the Pick Color from Screen, or the ink dropper tool right here. Then go over to your line and click on the line. What this is going to do is give you the same color as the line so we can really pull off this effect we're going for. Then you're going to move it down a little bit offset of center. That's looking pretty good. And then you can mess with this number to get it exact how you want it. Make sure you have it set on preview half for this because there's a lot of minor details you won't see if you have it on draft quarter, for instance, which looks really bad, or draft half, you know the deal. Right on. So now what we're gonna do now is animate our pieces together because this is looking pretty good, but it's just it's not dynamic enough. It's pretty static. It's a pretty static piece. So we're gonna go ahead and move our pieces like this. And what this is gonna do is this one's gonna come in, then our line's gonna come in, then our text is gonna come in. So what you can do is select a spot, hit Shift B, and it will render it out for you really quick so you can watch it. That's a pretty good, that's what we're looking for. And now what we're going to do is animate them in. So we're going to start with this text layer, go to Event Pan Crop, and you've got your keyframes down here. Zoom in until you have your frames here, and we're going to move this starting keyframe over 3. So now we can zoom in pretty close. Make sure this stays centered. Zoom in, you know the deal. And just like that. So over these 3 keyframes, it's going to slowly, zoom. So this is looking good. We've got 3 keyframes, bam. And then on the line here, we're going to have it zoom in from the side, kind of just like it's poo, poo, poo. Yeah, sound effects unnecessary, but whatever. So go ahead and zoom in again, the same deal. With this one, we're going to go 6 keyframes over, though. This way we can kind of create a really smooth motion. So we're going to start out, it's going to be coming from the left side. Start out with the frame over here. We're going to go over 2 keyframes. And you want it to start out pretty slow, so go ahead and move it back. So over these 2 keyframes, it's going to be going, really slow. Then over the next 2, let's speed it up quite a bit. And then the last 2, it's going to be pretty slow. So it's like slow, fast, slow. And this is a really key part in animating different elements inside of Sony Vegas. If you just go from keyframe 1 to keyframe 3 like we did on the first element, it'll look good if you're going for something fast, but if you want something to look smooth, you want to start out slow, speed up, and then end slow, so it kind of all fits together. So what we can do is go ahead and pre-render this again using Shift B. And that's looking pretty good. Now we want to do the same thing with this text, except we're going to come from the other side this time. Because as you can see, the line came from the left, so we're going to have the text come from the right. So same deal, we're going to go over 5 or 6 keyframes and come from the right. Or actually, yeah, let's come from the right. So same thing, go over 2, bam, go over 2 more, let's move this guy over. Go over 2 more. And let's have him come over here, this is good. And then 2 more, we're going to have him go ahead and just go a little bit more. So this is nice and smooth, just like poof, poof, poof. That's good. And now what we want to do is give it. You never want in a Sony Vegas project, composition, whatever you want to call it. You do not want the screen to just be static. It's like you have something move and then it stops. You always want something moving on the screen at some point. So it makes it look better. Trust me. So what we can do is go ahead and just add a little bit more animation to this. So that way it's going to come in and it's going to keep moving, as you can see right there. So it's not totally static, Bam, 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 that's looking good. One more thing you got to do is that you got to add blurs. Without blurs, it looks kind of linear. Doesn't look as good as if you add a blur. So let's go to Video Effects, go to Gaussian Blur, go ahead and add a medium blur to the top text layer, zoom in, go over 4 keyframes or so, and then drag these down. So over these 4 keyframes, it's going to get less blurry. That's looking pretty good. Same goes for this, but it's coming from the side. So what we want to do is add a horizontal blur. So we're going to take down the vertical range all the way. And with this one, since it goes all the way across, we actually don't need to keyframe it to settle out. So just add a horizontal blur. And then with the text, same deal, except you do want to go like 6 keyframes over, about here, and drag it back down. So over those 6 keyframes, it's going to go from blurry to not blurry, and it gives it the motion blur look. That's what we're going for. Now what we're going to do, go over here, about 3 seconds, split all your clips up, delete all these, and then we're just going to do the same thing again. Except at the end here, so we're going to move this 3 keyframes over and drag it all the way off. So just over these 3 keyframes, it's going to go like that, and you can move this one around. Really just mess around with it all you want. And then here, same deal. And then go over 3 or 4 and move it out here. So it's just going to go. That's looking good. And then one more time with this guy. Go over 3 keyframes, insert to create a keyframe, and then go ahead and zoom in and place it right here. Alright. That's looking great. One more thing you want to do is go ahead and add a motion blur again, so go over here until it starts to leave right about here. Hit insert, then go to the end and add a nice horizontal blur. And same goes for this text layer up here. Go ahead and go to the end here, hit insert, and drag up both of these guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and pre-render it again, Shift B. That's looking great. One last thing we need to add is kind of a interlacing effect, some sort of effect on the top to really bring it together. So go to Media Generators, go to Checkerboard, bring in the ridges. Make sure you have it set to preview half or else you won't be able to see the detail. Click on Height and hold down Control so you can really get in there and make some small adjustments. And bring it way down, not too much. You want to be at 0.06 or so. Yeah, that's good. Go ahead and set it to a color you like. Set color 2 to completely transparent and color 1 like way down there just so you can barely see it. Just like that. That's looking spectacular here. What you want to do is cut it off right here, and that's looking pretty damn good. So go ahead and download this template and inspect it. Show me what you guys made. I really like to see what my viewers make with the tutorials. Hit me up with a comment in the section below of what you want to see in the future. And here it is one last time for you. And another thing you can do, what I did in the original piece, is just go ahead and add in some sound effects. Some swoosh sound effects, some fast-moving shit. I don't know, like if there was a cheetah that ran past you, imagine what you would hear besides yourself shitting your pants. Yeah. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, you guys, and expect some more coming out later this week. Peace.